There we go. There we go. We're back. Damn Sancho 7.5. Oh, is it out? Or is it oh, people are tweeting prices, but I'm not seeing them. Are we on the Man United? Are we where are we, guys? Where are we looking? I'm not seeing it, guys. I'm not seeing it. I'm glad you guys are liking the new quality, by the way. I'm really happy about that. Talk about LFC prices whilst we're waiting? Yeah, I suppose we could do. All right, so obviously this came out this morning as well. And what am I drinking? I've got a cup of tea. Don't worry, I have also got a squash as well. That's for later because we're going to be streaming for a while. Yeah, so Liverpool prices. I'm sure a lot of you guys were happy with that. Let's start off with Salah, 13 million. I think we kind of expected that. I think that had to be the case, though, to be honest, because, I mean, let's be honest. Everyone has Salah in their team. Every season, everyone has Salah. Salah just gets super, super high ownership. Last season, we saw Salah reach the highest ever ownership of any player in FPL ever, which was somewhere around 70%. So 70% of all FPL teams, including all the inactive teams, had Salah in their team, which is just ridiculous numbers. So they had to kind of put the price up to reflect that. If a player is that popular, it's probably because they're too cheap. So it's good to see that they have put his price up just that little bit. 0.5 million is really good. Really good indeed. So yeah, I think. I mean, I'm still going to have Salah in my team, like 99% sure. Or we've got Manchester United. We've got Manchester United, guys. It's out. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, and then we will go back to the Liverpool players. Don't worry, we'll talk about everything. Oh my word! Oh, okay. Let's just go player by player. Let's go player by player, guys. 10.5 million Ronaldo. What are you saying? That's like, I'm not even gonna lie. That is 2 million cheaper than last season. Remember, last season he did okay. Like, I know people like to meme him like he should have done a lot better than he actually did, but, you know, he was, what was he, like the third highest scoring player of the season? He scored 17 goals, 18 goals, something like that. Can't remember off the top of my head, but he actually had an okay season. And, you know, there was some games where he absolutely dominated it. 10.5 million is actually not a bad price. Now, Fernandes 10 million is a lot better than what he was last season. What was he, 12 million last season? Which was too much. Yeah, 10 million? Not sure. I mean, you never know. Like, Manchester United, remember, are under new management. Like, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. Like, there could be a Manchester United resurgence. They really could. They could do a lot better this season. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not going to make any bold predictions here. I'm not going to jump on any Manchester United players early on in the game, I don't think. But let's see how they play under Ten Hag. It could actually be really good. And if so, these prices so far, not bad. All right, let's move on. Sancho 7.5. I'd say that's probably about right considering the season he had last year. But again, we're talking about potential. We're not talking about players when we're naturally just going to jump on. I mean, I know Manchester United fans, you Manchester United fans in the chat, are probably just going to go triple up on Man United. Fair enough. If you're playing for fun, you just want to pick some players that you enjoy, that you love, then fair enough, go for those Manchester United players. But I don't think I'm going to jump on them straight away personally. But ones to watch. Definitely, at these prices so far, ones to watch. Let's have a look at this final page, guys. I'm sure a few of you have already seen this final page, but here we go. Ooh, Rashford 6.5 million. What? Wow. Okay. That is cheap. That is really, really cheap. I'm almost in disbelief. It's really cheap. Knowing what he's capable of, knowing what we've seen in seasons prior to last, he's done some really good work. Really, really good work. That is 6.5 Rashford is interesting. I'm not going to lie. If he starts regularly, we don't know yet, though, do we? Like, under Ten Hag, we don't know what the situation is going to be. Is Elanga going to start? Elanga, if he's starting regularly, 5 million. Wow. decent. These are, I feel like these are the kind of players, Rashford, Elanga. What we want to do is we want to see how Manchester United kind of line up, watch Man United for the first, I don't know, watch them for the first 5, 6, 7 game weeks. Then when we're hitting our first wild card, which most of us are probably going to play our first wild card between, I don't know, game week 5. I mean, some people go a little bit earlier than that, but somewhere between game week 5, 6, maybe up until game week 8 or 9. So somewhere around that period. By that time, we would have had a good look at Man United, see if they're playing well, seeing what formations, what systems they're using, what players are starting regularly. And if we're getting a lot of Rashford, if we're getting a lot of Elanga, then those two players in particular, really good prices. Really good prices if Man United have a nice run of fixtures and are playing well and these players are starting. That's what's going to be key here. De Gea at 5 million is very interesting because he picks up save points, like, quite well. And you would hope that Man United sort out their defence this year. Maybe. I'm okay with De Gea at 5 million, to be fair. If he was 5.5 million, we'd be saying, not going to touch that. I probably am still keen to go for a 4.5 million goalkeeper, to be honest. But I'm not against De Gea. I'm not against De Gea. Let's have a look at the fixtures to remind ourselves. Manchester United play Brighton at home first game, then Brentford away, then Liverpool at home, which is not going to be easy. Southampton away, Leicester away. I think there is genuine argument to go for one of those cheaper Manchester United players in your game week team. In your game week team. How much is Dalot? I'm on the wrong page here. Dallow's not on there. We've got Tellez at 5 million. We've got Shaw at 5 million. Remember this time last year, guys, we all had a look at Shaw. Was Shaw 5 million or 5.5 million last season? And everyone was like, let's get Shaw. Let's get Luke Shaw in our teams. Everyone had him. It was crazy ownership. It was like 50% ownership last season of Luke Shaw. It was absolutely madness. Madness. But yeah, I don't know about this season. We're probably not going to be going for Luke Shaw. But De Gea. Like a punt on Rashford or Elanga. If we see some good work from either Rashford or Elanga. Because as things stand, unless Man United manage to sign another winger, which could be Anthony at Ajax, maybe Serge Gnabry at Bayern. He's only got 1 year left on his contract, I believe. So yeah, Man United are in the market for another winger. But if they don't manage to sign another winger, Rashford and Elanga, one of them's got to play. It's going to be a front three of obviously Cristiano Ronaldo in the centre. And then either side of him, Sancho's going to be one side. You'd say Sancho is pretty much nailed on, right? Or is he? Is he 100% nailed on? Maybe not 100%. So who's going to be the other winger? If it's one of Rashford or Elanga, and they start regularly, then that player is going to be the player to buy. These prices are really, really cheap. I'm glad FPL has kind of come to their senses a little bit. Now, no disrespect to Manchester United fans, but we have kind of seen a Man United tax, in a way, on FPL players for years. For years, we've seen FPL just say, oh, they're Manchester United players. They're not performing at Liverpool, Man City levels, but we're going to price them at Manchester City and Liverpool levels, which doesn't make any sense because it prices Man United players out of the game, which is not what we want. What we want is a game where every player is an option, every player is viable, which creates lots of different teams, lots of different strategies. Harry Jones says Sancho nailed. I think you're probably right. All right, guys. Let's hear from you guys. Who do you like the most out of these Manchester United players? And then we'll talk about some of the other teams. Don't worry, we will get onto. We'll talk about. I mean, who we've got to talk about? Liverpool, Leeds, which happened last night, and then we'll start building a team. But yeah, okay. Let's go through the players. Who are you interested in, guys? Ronaldo, 10.5 million. I think it's a good price. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised in a way. I think it's about right. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive. It's about right. Fernandes, 10 million. I don't know if anyone will be taking Fernandes. I feel like you know, 10 million. Who else can you get for similar money? I mean, it's going to be difficult to get Bruno in your team, right? I mean, I'm genuinely a little bit tempted by Ronaldo, I swear. All right, Sancho, 7.5 million. Could be worse. Could be worse. I mean, if he does the numbers he did in the Bundesliga, then that's going to look ridiculous. But is he realistically going to do those numbers? Right. And then the rest. Donny van der Beek, resurgence, playing at number 8, 5.5 million. Never know. I don't think we're probably not touching those defenders, are we? We're probably not touching Shaw, Telles, Varane. De Gea would probably be up for. Fred. I suppose if you're desperate for a 5.5 million midfielder, pick you up 2 points a game. Oh, why not? All right, let's see what you guys are saying. So, Ronaldo. You guys are liking the look of Ronaldo. Ronaldo and De Gea. Ronaldo, yeah. Rashford. Lots of love for Cristiano Ronaldo in the chat. I'm not surprised. Like, he is the probably the world's favourite football player, isn't he? So no surprise we've got a few CR7 fans in the chat. Maguire should be minus 2 million, says Future Fire. It's hard to pick from Manchester United, says Christian. But I think Sancho at 7.5 is interesting. It's definitely interesting. I think it's going to be difficult if Mason Mount, for example, is 7.5 million. I think it's going to be difficult to justify a Sancho or you know, Saka 8 million, Mahrez 8 million. I kind of prefer those guys. Elanga, if he starts, will be great value. Absolutely agreed. FPL Minute says someone else mentioned it, but Elanga as a bench player. Honestly, I don't know if we want to be spending too much on our benches, but I know it would be a punt. It would be a bench punt with the view of maybe transitioning Elanga to a starting player. Could it be worth a punt? It could be worth a punt. Elanga could be worth a punt. Martin says he's not taking Ronaldo. James says United are a very wait-and-see team, and I completely agree with that. I'm definitely... I won't be having... I don't want to say definitely. I don't want to guarantee anything, but come game week 1, probably not going to have more than one United player, to be fair. But, I don't know. We'll see. Ricky Ferreira, Ronaldo 10.5 is easy considering Haaland's injury resume. Fair enough. Daniel King says, what price do you think De Jong will be? I don't know if De Jong is necessarily a good FPL asset. I think they'll put him at like 6 million for the hype, but I'm not sure he gets enough goals or assists, really. Super Daddy Cool says, De Gea locked in. My word. Alien says, today's teams will be Villa, Fulham and Wolves. Yes, that's absolutely right. We should get Wolves at 2 p.m. So I'm going to stream until 2 p.m. UK time, which is in 1 hour and 43 minutes time. And then this evening we'll get Villa and Fulham. And I'll do a reaction over there on Twitter. And then we'll do another stream. We'll do another stream tomorrow. But okay, right. Well, we'll move on to some Liverpool players. We'll maybe revisit some Manchester United, but we'll move on to some Liverpool players. But certainly for me personally, who's standing out for me in terms of who goes on the watch list? Ronaldo goes on the watch list for me. Fernandes doesn't. Sancho, I think, just about makes it onto the watch list. De Gea is on the watch list. And then Elanga and Rashford are on the watch list as well. Let's see. But there we go, guys. There we go. That's Manchester United. But of course, yes, guys. This morning we had Liverpool. And Jesus wept. Salah, 13 million. We spoke about Salah at 13 million a little bit already. Like I kind of already said, it's about Salah at 13 is about right for me. So I'm not going to talk about that too much. I'm sure most of us will have Salah in our team. Actually, is there a discussion to be had there? All right, let's stay with Salah for a minute. Let's have a discussion here. Let's see in the chat. What do you think about the idea of going without Mo Salah? Now, it's not something I'm going to endorse personally, and I can tell you with about 90% certainty that Salah will be in my Game Week 1 team. You know, I mean, I feel like so many people have been burnt by not having Salah in Game Week 1, and every single season they just get absolutely brutalised. You know, FPL is not won or lost. Well, yeah, FPL is not won in Game Week 1, but you can lose FPL in Game Week 1. And you do that by making some strange decisions. Going without Salah is going to be really, really risky. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen some of the other prices. I don't know if some of the other prices will change your mind. What I will say already is the Liverpool triple up is definitely on. It's definitely on. Game Week 1, triple Liverpool, let's go, baby. But yeah, Salah 13 million. It's the right price. You need this player. I think there's enough players elsewhere that are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. There's so many cheap players elsewhere that Salah at 13 million is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not someone we instantly want to avoid and get rid of. So yeah, Salah, 13 million. Let's have him. But yeah, looking into the chat, Salah is a no-brainer decision. Too much risk to not have him. Dropping Salah only sounds worth it if you go to 3 premiums, but even then, yeah, it's a lot. Alexander says, "Are you sick? Triple captain Salah in Game Week 1 is better than going without him." Yeah, Salah is a must-have. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we all agree in the chat, guys. I'm glad we all agree, or mostly at least. Oh, Adwait says Salah overpriced, in my opinion. How can you say? I mean, obviously Salah is going to be the most expensive player in the game. We know that now. It's just nailed on. But how can you say that the top scoring player of last season is overpriced? He's not overpriced. The 0.5 million increase might give you a bit more of a decision to make. And let me tell you guys, and you guys watching these videos, watching these streams, consuming FPL content, watching other FPL YouTubers, going on FPL Twitter, Instagram, whatever. You guys are going to be in a hugely advantageous situation. You're going to be so much better off than your rivals that aren't consuming content and aren't talking and engaging with FPL. Because people, more casual players who kind of are so interested in the game but play for a little bit of fun, they're going to be looking at Salah and thinking, I'm not paying that much money for Salah. I can get Jota for however much cheaper, for 4 million cheaper. I'm going to go for Jota instead. And my word, will they suffer for it. My word, will they suffer for it. So, yeah, guys, honestly, it's huge. Now, this is, I think, a bit of a headline because it was kind of unanimously agreed, really, around the FPL community that Trent should be, it should go up in price. I mean, he's too good. He's worth so much more than 7.5 million. Remember, guys, and we'll speak about Leeds in a little bit, but Patrick Bamford is also 7.5 million. So if you're going to go for a 7.5 million player, who are you going to go for? You know what I mean? 7.5 million Trent is so cheap. So cheap. It really is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. The amount of points this man gets. I mean, let's look at last season's total points. All players. Third, 208 points. The third highest scoring player in FPL, and you can get him for the lovely price of 7.5 million. That's a madness. Like, that's actually ridiculous. And he does it every season. You're going back, previous seasons, 208 points, 160 points the season before that. Was he injured for a part of that season? Did he have less minutes or something? No, all right, he just didn't score as well. Oh, okay, that was the season where Liverpool didn't have, they had half of their defence missing, didn't they, in 2021. So that was maybe a little bit difficult. Season before that, 210 points. Season before that, 184, 5 points. So you basically got guaranteed around the 200 point mark, and you can get it for 7.5 million. It's an absolute no-brainer. You do not need a brain to pick Alexander-Arnold in your team. You really don't. Even if you are one of the people who is saying, I'm going to go without Salah. I'm feeling brave. I'm going to go without Salah. Are you really going to go without Trent, though? at 7.5 million. You will not find any better value in the entirety of the FPL game. He is an absolute lock. He should be 8 million. Well, he should be like 9 million. If we're talking about value per points, it really should be 9 million or more. Look at last season. Look at the players. The players around him. Salah, 13 million. Son, 11 million. I mean, he ended at 8.4. We know Bowen's going to come in at 8 million, 8.5 million. Cancelo's 7 million, fair enough. But De Bruyne, Kane, these players around him are all premium prices. But yeah, no brainer. 90% ownership in game week 1. Everyone's going to have Alexander-Arnold. Let's move on. Diaz, 8 million. That's nice. That is very nice. So obviously there's no Mane. So that means Diaz is first choice left winger, you would say? Probably. I mean, definitely. I mean, let's be real. He's definitely first choice left winger. He arguably was first choice left winger for Liverpool last season. And you could get him for 8 million. Ridiculous. I think he's so good as well. I really, really rate Diaz. I think he's so good. I don't know about you guys, but so good. So good. But yeah, I think that is a real bargain. And it's a shame we can only have 3 Liverpool players because honestly, when we get to this next page, like I say, I'm sure some of you guys have seen already, but some of these prices, man, it's actually stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So Diaz, 8 million. And this is where things get kind of interesting. So let's start off looking at Jota. Jota at 9 million is probably too much because game time, basically. Because game time. We don't know who's going to be, starting as the main striker. Is it going to be Darwin Nunez or is it going to be Jota? If you spend that amount of money on Nunez and how good he looks pretty good. He looks a player as well, by the way. If you spend that much money on Nunez, it's probably because you're going to play him, right? Jota probably not going to play as that central striker. By the way, Jota now reclassified as a forward. So this is what we're at. We will move on to some other players, but going back to Diaz for a second. Who are you taking? Diaz, 8 million, a midfielder, so gets clean sheet points, and an extra point for a goal. We're assuming the point system is the same this new season. But yeah, Nunez, 9 million. He's maybe going to be going in, getting some of the game time of Jota. Is he going to go off the, start right out from right straight from the blocks? I don't know if Darwin is going to start immediately. Jota, is he going to be rotated a little bit? Is he going to be rotated at left wing? He's a forward. We get less points for him and we pay more for him. Are we seriously gonna get Jota over Diaz? It's a shame. It is a shame. If I understand why Jota has gone to 9 million because he scored a lot of points last season. But he's also been reclassified as a forward, and this is an issue. And maybe I'll rant about this a little bit more later in the stream because we've got a lot of time to fill. We've got an hour and a half until the next load of price reveals. But this seems to be this running trend of FPL. When a player is a forward, they actually are more expensive. So for some reason, just because a player is a forward, it means they're more expensive than a midfielder. And a midfielder is more expensive than a defender, regardless of how many points they get. Now, Jota at 9 million is probably going to score about equal or, if anything, less points than a Luis Diaz, right? Yeah, he's 1 million more. He scores less points. Yeah, he's going to get roughly the same amount of goals and assists. It doesn't make sense. And this is the problem with FPL. They're a little bit behind the modern game. The modern game has changed. It used to be, when FPL was first designed, strikers got goals, forwards got goals. The situation has changed. Fullbacks are far more involved in goals and assists now. Wingers are now the main scoring outputs for teams. Mo Salah is the classic example. Heung-min Son is a very good example as well. Jared Bowen last season as well. These are wingers. They are, in FPL terms, midfielders, right? And they're the main source of goals. Yet they're actually priced slightly cheaper than their forward counterparts. And I think that you can make some kind of analogy there between Jota and Diaz. You would say that if they were the same position, they would be priced similarly. But because Jota is a forward, you have to pay extra for him. That doesn't make sense to me. Because forwards, in the modern day, central strikers are no better goal scorers than wingers, who are attackers. But anyway, just a little rant for you there. AJ says bonus points for forwards were higher. Well, yes and no. Yeah, obviously if a forward scores a goal, they get good bonus points. But if they don't score a goal, they get nothing. Yeah, it's difficult. Mark Fielding says Fantasy Bundesliga is much more sophisticated. It's more balanced in this regard. And I understand the argument to make the game more sophisticated and more complicated. For me, for you guys who are engaged, we love FPL, we live FPL, right? Of course, we don't mind if the game is quite complicated. But at the end of the day, us guys, we are 1, 2, 3% of the total FPL player base. The masses and new players want a nice simple game. They don't have to put very much effort or thought into it. And just pick their favourite players and don't touch their phone for another week and then check how they got on after the week. Whereas we're like a little bit more obsessive and we find more time for FPL. So yeah, the balance has to be struck, I guess, between simplicity, being able to engage people quite easily, and making something fun and balanced, I suppose, like you say, balanced. But there we go. On to some of the other players, I suppose. We've spoken about Darwin and Jota. Not really sure. I think they're going to combine game time at the beginning of the season. So I wouldn't personally be going for Darwin. I wouldn't be personally going for Jota. Liverpool fans, I'm sure you're quite excited about Darwin. You might want to go for him just for the fun aspect. But yeah, Jota, Darwin, not for me. Thiago 5.5, it's like whatever, probably not an option. Elliott 5 million, kind of interesting in a way, but the problem is we've got 3 Liverpool slots. Salah takes one, Trent takes the other. You've got one more position to fill, and for me, the only player I'm really interested in is Robertson. I mean, arguably Diaz. I mean, no, I am interested in Diaz. The only problem with the only reason I would go for Diaz over Robertson is because there are quite a lot of options that I quite like in defence. And I will go over that. Well, I'm going to start doing like a draft team again, like I did yesterday, in a few minutes' time. And I'll kind of show you what I mean in terms of which kind of directions you can go in. But Robertson 7 million is an absolute no-brainer. I actually prefer Robertson at 7 million to Cancelo at 7 million. I genuinely prefer Robertson to Cancelo. So if I'm choosing one or the other, I'm choosing Robertson. The only thing about that is you can only have 3 Liverpool players, and you've got to kind of think, if I go for Robertson, that means I can't have Diaz at 8 million. Who's a class buy at 8 million, an absolute bargain. Oh, Robertson versus Diaz, I think, is going to be the big conversation for the start of this season. In fact, let's throw in a poll. Hang on, put my tea down. Let's throw a poll in the chat, guys, and let's see what you guys are saying. Because I know a few of you guys in the chat will be saying, well, I'm not going to go for Salah, or I'm not going to go for Trent. I am going to have Robertson and Diaz. Fair enough. So I'm just going to put, who do you prefer? Robertson, who's a 7 million defender, or Diaz, who is a 8 million midfielder. Who are you taking? Right, poll's in the chat. Poll is in the chat, guys. Go and have a vote if you can see it. And let's see what the popular opinion is. Right, Van Dijk 6.5 million is an option. Like I would say Van Dijk. I would only go for Van Dijk if I was desperate to save 0.5 million. If I really just wanted to save 0.5 million, I would potentially downgrade Robertson to Van Dijk. But I'd have to be quite desperate because I think reasonably objectively, Robertson is a better FPL asset, and maybe there's some debate to be had there, but I think Robertson is just better. And you know, with Liverpool, because you can only have 3, pick the best 3. Pick the best 3 and be done with it. Ramsey 4 million. Maybe we get some injuries. I don't know. Alisson 5.5. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to pick Alisson because he's, quite frankly, it's a waste of a Liverpool slot. It's a waste of your 3 Liverpool slots. But 5.5 is actually a decent price for him. Top scoring goalkeeper last season. Let's have a look to see, because this is the thing. Yes, Alisson was the top scoring goalkeeper last season, but the point is that other goalkeepers weren't too far away from him. So the difference between Alisson and Lloris. So Lloris, for example, we're expecting him to probably come in at, based on the trend so far, Lloris is probably going to come in at 5 million. And to save 0.5 million and free up a Liverpool slot for the sake of 18 points, I think is well worth it. I mean, I think you can make up that difference elsewhere by going for a different third Liverpool player. You can make up that difference. So, for example, you know, say you can either have Alisson and another defender. All right, say, okay, Alisson and Cancelo, or you can have Lloris. This is just an example. Lloris and Robertson. Lloris and Robertson is probably going to outscore Alisson and Cancelo, for example. But I imagine we will have Cancelo as well, to be fair. But yeah, just as an example anyway. So yeah, I mean, even looking a little bit further down the list, we're probably going to get a 4.5 million goalkeeper. We've already got a couple who we'll speak about in a minute. We're probably going to have a couple that are actually quite nice. Like Brighton, Leeds, goalkeepers, 4.5 million. We may as well just go for that. Save 1 million and use your third Liverpool slot elsewhere. Let's have a look and see how this poll is going, right? Alan says, rather than Virgil van Dijk, I would take Alisson. Well, Virgil van Dijk is going to outscore Alisson significantly, and I would imagine that actually happened last season. So Alisson, 176 points. Van Dijk, 183 points. Okay, not a huge amount of difference, to be fair. But Van Dijk did miss 1, 2, 3, 4 games. So I think that's going to be taken into consideration a little bit. But yeah, like I'm saying, guys, I feel like you can only have 3 Liverpool players. And let's be honest, if we could have 5 Liverpool players, we would probably take 5 Liverpool players. But because you can only have 3, pick the best possible ones. That's where my head's at anyway. So yeah, there we go. Poll, what is it saying? People actually prefer Diaz slightly to Robertson, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Who do you think is going to score more points over the season? That's a good question. I think Robertson outscores Diaz over the season. I don't see how... Because Diaz will be rotated a little bit. He's going to be probably seeing himself rotated with Jota a little bit on that left wing. Maybe, could Nunez play on the left side? Liverpool fans? Do you know? I think he can play on the wing, can't he? I can't remember which side. But obviously he's primarily a central striker. Let's not get it twisted. But yeah, I don't know. Firmino, could he go to the wing? I don't think so. But yeah, there will be but with Robertson, you've got a nailed on player who's going to play 90 minutes every week. Pretty much 90 minutes anyway, which is good. But yeah, I can, like I say, the reason to go for Diaz is because there's so many other good options in defence. You can go for Cancelo, you can go for Chilwell, you can go for Reece James, you can go for Perisic if he's listed as a defender. You could go for some of the cheaper options. We've seen Tomiyasu 4.5 million. We've seen Lewis Dunk 4.5 million. There's some good bargains to be had. Bader in the chat says, is Trent a must own if owning Robbo? Or is he a must if owning Robbo? You can play both. I'm going to play both. A few people saying, yeah, Nunez can play off the left. I thought so. But yeah, no, primarily he's going to be playing as a central striker. We know that. But, yeah, possible. Jakob says, wonder if there is any potential with a gem like Simicast at the start of the season. What, you know what? Something will emerge. It always does. And if I find it, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Going on to let's just have a look at points from last season. So we saw Robertson among defenders, number 3. But what it should be perhaps noted is that he actually missed a couple of games. Injury at the start of the season there. Missed this game. Missed a couple of games here and here and here and here. Compared to Cancelo, who got more points last season, but played significantly more games. You see, Cancelo only missed 2 games. Robertson missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Points per game, for a difference of 15 points. Robertson clinches it there, doesn't he? Just about. So yeah, I like Robertson. I like him a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it then for Liverpool. Let's whiz through the teams from yesterday. I'm going to end the poll. So Diaz, although Robertson made a slight resurgence there, I think I convinced a few of you guys to go for Robertson in the end. But Diaz came out on top out of you guys. Oh, that's interesting. It's about 50-50 though. About 50-50. Sharaf says, initially Diaz is going to be nailed on. Darwin will take time to start games. I agree with you. Klopp will integrate him slowly to the team. Yeah, absolutely. Andy says, majority of Nunez's games last season were from the left. Well, there we go. Keith Hill says, what are you drinking so noisily? Almost choked. That serves me right. It's a nice cup of tea. Get the nice cup of tea. It's lovely. Lovely. Apologies if I am drinking it noisily though. I didn't realise. I know some people have a real like phobia kind of thing for the slurping noises. Fortunately, I'm not one of those people, but I imagine the slurping there has really, really annoyed some people. Really annoyed people. Mo says, why not Robbo over Trent? Because Trent is such a good price. He's an unbelievably good price. I don't think you can go without Trent. I would say that Trent is actually more essential than Salah. I mean, they're both around there. Callum says Cancelo was unlucky not to score more goals. If by unlucky you mean he took a lot of shots, then you're right. But a lot of his shots were kind of from a distance. Shivang says, underrated opinion, Alisson is a good buy. Now, if you could have unlimited Liverpool players, I would agree with you, but we can't. Antonio says, are you taking Robbo or Trent? Maybe both. I think I'm going to go both, if I'm honest. But we'll build a team shortly. Before we build a team, I do want to cover Brighton and Leeds. Those were the teams last night because I stopped streaming after Brentford yesterday. So we'll go and have a look at Brighton on Leeds. Let's do Brighton first. And we won't spend as much time on these as we did on Liverpool, to be honest. But we will spend a little bit of time because that's what these streams are for. Therefore, looking at all the prices. So Cucurella, love saying his name. I don't know why. Love saying his name. Cucurella, 5 million. If he signs for Manchester City, 5 million is going to look very good. I mean, a lot of people were twerking over Walker at 5 million yesterday. Cucurella at 5 million, if he's at Manchester City, will be a rotation nightmare, but such good value when he does play. So it's going to be kind of that risk. Do you want to take that risk? Do you want to go for him? This is assuming he's at Manchester City anyway. For Brighton, you're probably not going to take him at 5 million, to be honest. Which is a shame. He's a very good player, though. What is more interesting is and I know this hasn't got too much to do with the prices, but it's definitely got stuff to do with FPL. If Cucurella signs for Manchester City, that's going to mean that Cancelo moves over to the other side of the pitch, to the right-hand side, where he's not as effective. It also could see a little bit of rotation. Either, sometimes the defence is going to be Cucurella on the left, Walker on the right, Cancelo on the bench. Sometimes we're going to see Cancelo on the right, Cucurella on the left, Cancelo less effective from the right. From the right. Sometimes we're going to see Cancelo on the left, very nice, and Walker on the right. And there's going to be a bit of rotation there. There's going to be some classic Pep roulette, as we like to call it. Some Pep roulette will be going on, and we probably won't be best pleased. So, yeah, Cucurella, not interesting at Brighton, a little bit interesting at Manchester City, but more importantly, where does that leave Cancelo? Because he's not going to get you as many FPL points when he's playing on the right. He's not. Not saying he's a bad player on the right, but he's not going to get as many points if he's not cutting in. Trossard 6.5 million is a bit of a shame. If Cucurella leaves, Trossard could potentially play in the left wing back position as well. Maybe. It's a harsh price. I think what was he priced at last season? I think he was 5.5 million last season. Let's have a look. I mean, he's nowhere near the top. I mean, I guess he kind of is. He was 6.5 at the start of last season. He just dropped tragically to 5.8 at one point. He ended the season really well, but he started the season wasn't great. I mean, a few little holes there, but I think really we're probably not going to take him at 6.5. You get a Martinelli for 6. You can get an Odegaard for 6.5. You can get can't remember who else. You can get Rashford for 6.5. It's a little bit. It's 0.5 too much, I think. But maybe there'll be a few people going for him. Let's have a look at the fixtures. Brighton's fixtures are okay. Man United away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away. I mean, to be fair, I don't really like those first three that much, but Leeds at home and then Fulham away, it's not bad. But yeah, probably not going to be in too many people's teams. Sanchez at 4.5 is pretty nice. Pretty nice. You know, we saw Raya yesterday coming at 4.5 as the Brentford goalkeeper. The Sanchez is an option there as well at 4.5 million. I love a 4.5 million goalkeeper for the start of the season. So it's going to be a case of who do we go for, Sanchez, Raya, or someone else who's coming up soon. But yeah, Sanchez is definitely an option, and I think he'll be in a few teams. Definitely an option. Just I don't know how many clean sheets do you see in these opening games? Man United, maybe Newcastle, again, maybe, but you wouldn't be confident. West Ham, no, probably not. Leeds, yeah. Fulham, yeah, maybe. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's not a bad option, don't get me wrong. For the rest of the players, it's actually some okay prices in here. Dunk at 4.5 is good. Really, really good. I like that one. I'm sure you guys do as well. He was 5 million last season, and I think when he played, he scored pretty well. Let's have a look at, for last season. Lewis Dunk, 92 points. Missed huge chunks of the season. But, did he get any goals last season? He got 1. He's usually good for a couple of goals a season. Okay, yeah, you can see here, for example, the season before last, 2020-21, 5 goals. The season before that, 3 goals, 3 assists. So if you're saying that last season was a bit of an anomaly, then for 4.4, can you imagine getting a goal out of your 4.5 million defender? Absolute scenes. Absolute scenes. So yeah, I don't mind that. 4.5 million, the fixtures are okay. If you're looking for clean sheets, you want a cheap defender, or you just want a defender to put on your bench as your first sub as a nice backup to have, Dunk is nice. Lamptey would be nice if he stayed fit. Problem is with Lamptey, he rotates a lot because he can't play. He struggles to play every game, I think, with that injury record and keeping him fit. And even when he does play, often he'll come off before the 60th minute. It's quite crazy, really. Saicedo, probably not. Gross, probably not. McAllister, if he gets a good bit of form, maybe, but probably not. Morpay and Welbeck at 6.5 are absolute jokes, but I know what you guys are waiting for. Dennis Undav. Now, here's a player who the eagle-eyed FPL managers will know a little bit about because of his insane record last season. So what happened was he was having an insane season last season in the where are we? In the Belgian league, in the Jupiler Pro League, if you will, and he just went off. Brighton bought him in January and loaded him immediately back. Look at these goal contributions, man. Like, this is ridiculous. In 33, and I know it's a weaker league. Don't get me wrong. I know it's a weaker league. 25 goals and 10 assists. 35 goal contributions in 33 games. In 33 league games. You go in all competitions. 41 games. 27 goals. 13 assists. That's 40 goalkeeper numbers. What am I talking about? 40 goal contributions in 41 games. Madness. Absolute madness. He absolutely killed it. Now, what Brighton have been crying out for is a finisher, a goal scorer. They do not struggle to create chances. Brighton create chances. They really do. But they can't finish them. They need a finisher. And Undav could be the guy. He could be the guy to solve this problem. Like, he really, really could. He really could. And he's coming in on FPL at 5.5 million. Surely he's got to start. How much was he signed for? I actually don't know how much Brighton paid for him. 7.2 million? Wait, I don't know. Was that the loan fee? Oh, 6.3 million was the price, it looks like. Let's see how cheap that turns out to be. But yeah, if we kind of go through previous seasons for him as well, he is a player. He's not that young. I think he's 25. Oh, it says right there. Oh God, what? I've gone on some weird advert. Yeah, so he's 25. So he's not like young. But the season before that, 17 goals and 5 assists in 26 games. Season before that, 17 goals and 13 assists. Like, he has got an insane goal scoring record. He really has for seasons and seasons. Jakob says, Undav, you piqued my interest in searching on that Moneyball type player. And he is a Moneyball type player. He's definitely a Moneyball player. He's actually quite mad. Now, I don't know. I don't know if you guys are going to be completely convinced by the fact that he is coming in from another league, like a much weaker league. Like, let's not get it twisted. The Belgian Pro League is a weaker league, and he's not going to score 25 goals in the Premier League season. But if he's good for 10, 15 goals, or even 10, 15 goal contributions, then that's not too bad. Quickly in the chat, Raha says, Harvey Elliott got a new kit number, 19. Would that mean he would start more? Yeah, potentially. But I don't know if I'm going to go for him, to be honest. Yup Sup says he could be the Dennis of this year. And this is what I'm saying. So let's think Emmanuel Dennis. His numbers in the previous season. Let's have a look. Is it similar? I imagine it is pretty similar. 2021. I mean, we actually need the previous season. It was the previous season when he did okay, wasn't it? Actually, to be fair, he didn't even play. He didn't even score that many goals. I don't know, from memory. No, he didn't. 5 goals and 1 assist in the same league. So if Dennis only scores that amount of goals, imagine what Undav can do. Maybe Premier League's easier to score goals. But no, the player I was thinking of to make that direct comparison is actually Benteke. We are going back a little bit now. But when Benteke came from Belgium, he came with a very good goal-scoring record and absolutely hit the ground running, boys. Running. Let's try and remember what season he came in. Maybe that's a little bit too far back. Maybe it's about right. No. Right, so maybe the season before that, which is 11-12. Yeah, so here we go. So 11-12, playing in the Belgian league, 10 goals, 5 assists. It's a pretty good record. Not insane, but pretty good. Comes to the Premier League. 19 goals, 4 assists, first season. Could Undav be this guy? Like, I'm telling you, he's actually quite mad. These stats are, like, actually ridiculous. FPL Bateman says, Benteke is the last player to come from Belgium to set the Premier League alight a decade ago. Lukaku? Are we counting Lukaku? Trossard came from Belgium as well. He did. Don't know if he's quite there yet. Anyone else got any like examples of Belgian players that have come over to the Premier League have done quite well? Origi? Maybe. Actually, I don't think Origi. He didn't come straight from Belgium though, did he? I am slurping a little bit. I can hear it now. Right, maybe I'll just cover the microphone as I take a sip of tea. Silent. Yeah, that is interesting to me, guys. Like, genuinely. I don't know. It's such a good price. 5.5 million. The question is, are you going to take a punt on him game week 1? Or are you going to wait and see on him? Because I think you can afford to wait and see a little bit. So if we look here, Brighton play Man United, Newcastle and West Ham. And once those games are out of the way, it looks pretty good, I think. Actually, let's have a look at Brighton fixtures. And get a full list of their fixtures. So, this is their opening game. Man United, Newcastle, West Ham, Leeds, Fulham, Leicester, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Liverpool. I mean, there are some hard games in there. Spurs, Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea, and Wolves, to be fair. There are some, like, sprinkles of nice fixtures. Nottingham Forest, Brentford, Crystal Palace is okay. Bournemouth, Leicester is okay. You know, Fulham is okay. Leeds is okay. Well, good, in fact. So, I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Eden Hazard came from Lille, didn't he? So I don't know if we can count him. Don't know if we can count him as a direct import. Yeah, that's definitely like Undav. Right, okay, watch list. Kukurea, yeah, just about on the watch list. Trossard probably not on the watch list. Sanchez is on the watch list. Dunk is on the watch list. Undav is on the watch list. Everyone else is probably not on the watch list, to be fair, out of those Brighton players. Leeds, on the other hand, we'll just do Leeds. We've got Leeds to go, then we'll start building the draft. Crazy. Super chat here from JM says, hello friend, is your channel drink how you want, pal? Thank you. No, I just don't want to annoy people. I really appreciate you guys, watching the streams and stuff. I don't know how many of you are there. Oh, we've got over 1,400 people. Well, yeah, about 1,400 people in here. I don't want to be slurping my guts up. You also say here, Jay, when do you reckon FPL will be back online for the 2022-23 season? Tuesday. I am going to predict Tuesday. In fact, I'm reasonably confident about Tuesday as well, to be honest. It could be Wednesday, could be Monday. It's going to be between Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday being the most likely day. Around midday UK time. That's what I would predict. But I don't know for sure. Thank you very much, Jay. I do appreciate that super chat, man. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Okay, going back to Leeds. And by the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing and that kind of thing, that would be amazing. I should probably say that more often during these streams, but I always forget. Plus, I don't like to be beggy, but it really does help out the channel. Bamford, 7.5 million. It's a lot. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Adder's in the chat says, "Hi mate, can you give a shout out to my mum Mel? She watches your transfer vids with me all the time. Big shout out to Mel. Mama Mel. You go, girl. Right, Bamford 7.5 million is a horrible price, and like I mean no disrespect to Bamford here, because he is a good player and he has done it in the past. Last season, he scored 2 goals. Now, I know he didn't play a lot of minutes. He played, I think, 9 games total, 2 goals, 2 assists. It's considering the circumstances, it's not the worst. But we've also got to consider the context. Leeds were almost relegated. You know, but they survived by the skin of their teeth. Was that a phrase? It sounds like a phrase. It's quite ridiculous that to think that a team that was almost relegated has their player price quite this high, because this is 0.5 cheaper than Luis Diaz, for example. It's 0.5 more expensive than Ivan Toney, who scored quite well last season and is playing for a team slightly higher up the table. It doesn't quite make sense to me. It doesn't quite make sense to me. I want Bamford to be 7 million, 6.5 million, somewhere around there, just so we have a decision to make. The other point I haven't even mentioned, Rafinha. Rafinha's looking very likely to leave Leeds. Leeds are going to lose their primary creative force. It's quite silly. Like Bamford is going to struggle for chances a little bit more. His team are going to be relegation threatened, particularly if they're selling, you know, Rafinha, Phillips. We're probably going to struggle a little bit. And we've got their striker who's got less playing for a relegation threatened team under a more conservative manager than Bielsa. Because remember, when Bamford scored a lot of goals before, it was under a super attacking Bielsa team. It's a shame. It's a shame because it would have been really nice to have Bamford. But how can you spend 7.5 million on Bamford when you can get Trent Alexander-Arnold for exactly the same price? If you're taking one player right now, Bamford or Trent, who are you taking? It's so obvious. It's really, really harsh. It's really harsh to price him that way. It's a shame. Leeds' fixtures: Wolves at home, Southampton away, Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Everton at home. I mean, there's some okay ones in there. Southampton away, Everton at home. It's all right. Evan Wynn really wants to know, will I have Son or Kane in my team? Right now, I'm thinking no, but a good price can quickly change my mind on that one. Jandre in the chat says Trent. Yeah, obviously we're taking Trent over Bamford at the same price, right? Same as Cancelo and Toney. Is the same thing. But Cancelo at 7 million or Bamford at 7.5. It's just what it's doing, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier on in the stream about the fact that FPL will just price up forwards higher just because they're forwards, which doesn't make sense when their midfield counterparts are scoring more points for the same actions and just as involved in goal scoring shenanigans. And yet forwards are more you pay a premium price for a forward. It doesn't make any sense. It's forcing everyone to go to one forward formations. And what I can tell you is, based on current price trends, one forward formation, it just seems to be the one. The only 2 forwards who I've seen so far whose prices I actually like, actually Ronaldo at 10.5 I don't mind, but it's going to be difficult to get him in. But Haaland at 11.5. Was he 11.5? Yeah, Haaland at 11.5 and Undab at 5.5, who is a little bit risky. I don't know if I'm going to go for Undab straight away. So really, it just leaves us with Haaland at 11.5, really. We move. Right, next player. Harrison, 6 million. An interesting differential, to be fair. An interesting differential. I don't know. I don't know if I'm fully convinced. Melee at 4.5 I actually quite like. I think I said it on yesterday's stream that if Melee comes in at 4.5, if Leeds look like they're sorting out their defence, spending some money in defence, and playing a little bit with a little bit more of a pragmatic approach, Mellier's not the worst. He's not the worst in the world at 4.5 million. If you're going to go for a 4.5 million keeper, excuse me, then that is an option. So far, for 4.5 million keepers, we've got Raya, Sanchez, and Meslier. They're the three. All three good options, really, in my opinion. I mean, like, I look at these fixtures. I really think Mellier's a good goalkeeper, by the way. I think he's really good. If Leeds conceded a few less chances, then maybe Meslier could get a few more clean sheets, if I'm honest. But the save points, he makes a lot of saves as well. He makes a lot of saves. It's really good. And he's young, and he's going to get better and better and better. So that's another factor that you've got to consider. He's going to be better than he was last season, whereas some of the older goalkeepers, I mean, to be fair, Raya and Sanchez are both young as well. So they're going to get, presumably, going to get better than they were last season. But yeah, another nice option at 4.5 million. People are talking about the next price release. That'll be at 2 p.m. And that will be... Who's that going to be? Wolves. We think it's going to be Wolves. It's going to be there'll be a couple of trinkets. Wolves are quite nice because they have a really nice run of fixtures. Leeds, Fulham, Spurs, Newcastle, Bournemouth. One of the best runs of fixtures, actually. So there's definitely going to be some discussion to be had about Wolves players. I know a lot of you guys are talking about Neto, Jose Sa. All right. Other Leeds players: Cooper 4.5, Koch 4.5, Christensen 5. That's too much. Rocker 5's too much for a defensive midfielder. Aronson 5.5, not happening. Dan James 6 million. Could be okay. Rodrigo now midfielder at 6 million. Could be okay. Gelhardt at 5.5 million is a bit of a shame. I would have liked to seen him at, in an ideal world, he would be 4.5 million. 5 million, on the other hand, would be tempting. 5.5 million, I think it's going to be difficult to go for him. Because of game time. Again, because of game time. Alan says, what do you think about Aronson at 5.5 million? He should play behind the striker. I don't know too much about him, to be fair. But that's kind of Rodrigo's slot. So is Rodrigo going to be the man? Is Rodrigo going to actually be the man in that position? Is there going to be Rodrigo at the start and then maybe a little bit of rotation? Is Rodrigo maybe going to be playing elsewhere? Is Aronson going to move to the wing or playing a bit deeper? There's not. Chandra says Ayling. We can't see any. We can't see any Aylings. There's no Luke Aylings. Ivan says Bazunu is my go-to. Yeah, if he comes in at, I swear, if he comes in at 4 million, Bazunu is going to be such a clutch player, goalkeeper to have in your team. He's just going to, backup goalkeeper, 4 million, Bazunu straight up. But he's probably going to be 4.5 if we're honest. I probably would not be risking on Bazunu too quickly, but Gelhardt, my go-to man at 5.5. No, says the zone. It's not great. Brandon Brun says, what if FPL is lowering prices so they can implement the midweek subs mechanic like UCL fantasy? That's an interesting point. We are going to find that out. Clicker says, you are drinking so loud. That is the theme of the day, isn't it? Right, I'm going to finish off. I've got a little bit left of my cup of tea. I'm going to leave the room. To finish the cup of tea, and then I'll come back. So you guys don't have to hear any slurping. Don't worry. I'm leaving the room. I'm going. You guys wanted this. It's happening. I'm going. Okay, I'm coming back now. I'm finished. I'm done. I'm coming back. How many people left the stream during the 30 seconds I was gone? Right, anyway, back to FPL. Back to the Fantasy Premier League. That's what we are here for. Yeah, generally, I think Leeds are not great. I'm not too excited by too much here. A lot of the players seem very punty, if I'm honest. Bamford, okay, let's go through watch list to finish off. Did you still hear me from the other room? To be fair, I did try and do it loud on purpose from the other room. But that's hilarious. To be fair, I only moved like a metre in that direction. My door is literally like right there, so it wasn't much of a difference. All right, Bamford. No, not on the watch list. Harrison, punt. Melier's on the watch list. Cooper, no. Cock, no. Christensen, no. Rocker, no. Aronson, don't know enough about him, but I'm going to say no. James, punt, a bit of a punt. Rodrigo, a bit of a punt. Gelhardt, at that price, unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. So, yeah, there we go. There we go. Jack Savage says rumours are Raul Jimenez is 7 million and Semedo is 5 million. I don't know where we're getting the where we're getting the rumours from. I mean, oh, okay. Magic says we missed the slurping. Damn. Hans says I like to hear you slurp. Okay. Well, the cup of tea is empty. Luckily, guys, I prepared myself a backup drink before we started the stream. We've got our blackcurrant squash. A quieter drink, to be fair. A quieter drink. Jasper says, plot twist, you opened and closed the door without stepping out the room. No, I committed. I actually committed. FPL Harry in the chat. What's up, Harry? How you doing, mate? How's your draft coming along, Harry? I've seen on Twitter you're kind of built every time the price reveals. You slap an extra couple of players in your draft. Love it. Love it. I'm chilling, he's bored. He says, come on, Dan, let's do the draft. Jandre's giving me those blackcurrant squash emojis in the chat. By the way, guys, if you want to join as a member, it's 99p a month. It's the cheapest it would let me set it, and I see your name easier in the chat. And also, you get custom emojis, such as all of these that I'm throwing in. Okay, let's build a team. Let's build a team. All right. We are back on FPL.team to build our FPL.team. Straight away, let's sack off one of these. Yeah, let's also move the captain's armband here and put the vice captain here because you know what's up. So straight away, I mean, actually, have they? Let me refresh this page because I wonder if they've updated the prices. I am going to change to 4 at the back for now, but I think we could genuinely go 5 at the back. We genuinely could. So, straight away, like, my two most nailed players so far are probably Salah and, well, Trent, right? Have they put his price? Yes, that's correct. Is that? Yeah, they've updated the prices. All good. Good stuff from FPL.team. From here, someone says to do the bench first. Start with the bench. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. So let's just stick in a random 4 million goalkeeper. Who did we use yesterday? Who was it? Olsen. Let's stick in a... we are definitely going to have at least one 4.5 million forward. At least one. So let's lower the price to 4.5 million and just stick in a dud for now. Don't know who. Doesn't really matter. Let's stick in Fergie as the final sub. And then from there, we're probably... I'm still so far out the prices. Of the cheap, I'm going to go for, I think... one. Oh, let's hang on. Oh, what's going on? Why can't I have Tomiyasu? Here we are. So I'm probably going to have at least one 4.5 million defender there so far. It's probably going to be Tomiyasu based on what we know so far. After that, it gets... well, this is where discussions start, I suppose. I still really like the idea of going for Perisic, and I still really like the idea of going for for Chilwell. I don't know if these are locks though. For goalkeeper, let's stick in Raya for now. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of defenders I want. Alexander-Arnold is a lock. After that, I kind of am between different players. I want Cancelo, or at least a City defender, and I want Robertson, and I can't have both. Well, I can have both, but it would be really loading up in defence. I don't know if I want to have 5 premium defenders. Maybe we can sacrifice someone. I'm not sure who. I mean, maybe that's just reason to just. Oh no, we can't go without a Man City defender. We can't do it. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. I really want Robertson, but maybe we have to have. Maybe that's just pushes me towards Diaz. Maybe the fact that I can't have all of the defenders I want pushes me towards Diaz. I really want Robertson. I really want him. But it would mean sacrificing one of Perisic and Chilwell. The problem is that if I have Diaz, it helps me a little bit by filling up a midfield slot. I mean, you can imagine Diaz absolutely popping off against Fulham as well. All right, let's do a Diaz draft. Let's do a Diaz draft. Okay, so we're getting on along quite nicely. Let's stick in Haaland. I don't know if he's absolutely 100% going to be in my team, but he's certainly up there. If we get Son at a decent price, I'll probably go for Son over Haaland, but we don't know for sure yet. Sack Perisic, you reckon? I mean, if Cucurella goes to Man City, I probably might even get rid of Cancelo. You know what? I'm going to downgrade Laporte to Laporte. Let's downgrade a little bit. Let's free up some cash. Or maybe that's my argument to not go for a... No. Okay, no. I'm downgrading Cancelo. I'm downgrading him to Laporte. Get Edison. Oh, I don't know about that. So we've got 3 starting midfield slots. In terms of players who look like really good value for money, like I said yesterday, Martinelli looks very smelly. Yeah, Martinelli looks pretty good at 6 million. As long as Arsenal don't sign another winger, then I probably will go with Martinelli, to be honest. FPL Harry shared his team via Twitter. Perhaps we'll have a look at FPL Harry's team in a minute as well to see what he's gone for. He's good, very good FPL manager is FPL Harry. Let's think. So we've got 18.5 million. We've got 1 slot on the bench who could be. I mean, could we even go for a 4-4-2 and go for Undav and then do something like that? Then we could have 1 more pretty decent midfielder in there, which could be quite nice. And then we could kind of rotate Undav and Tomiyasu a little bit. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. So okay, let's stick in a dud midfielder just for the sake of price. Who do we reckon is going to be a 4.5 million midfielder? What's this website saying in terms of predictions? I think we went for Romeo last time. Bissouma at Spurs at 4.5 is okay. I mean, Gordon is not going to be 4.5. Yeah, not. I mean, Romeo is the only one really that is sticking out to me so far. Well, there will be some surprises. There's always a surprise or two in terms of good value, 4.5 million. I mean, if Yates is 4.5, I'd definitely consider him, but I don't know if he will be. Louise, yeah, Harry. The only thing about Louise is Boubacar Kamara signed for Villa, and I think Kamara is going to be the main man. I think Luiz is actually going to see his game time limited a little bit, or at least lessened. And I just want that 2 points a week. I think I do like Luiz. He takes some set pieces, doesn't he? But I just think with Kamara arriving, who's a really good CDM, it's it's going to be hard. Dewsbury Hall is not going to be 4.5 million. Konate is not going to be 4.5 million. Like, these are just price predictions we're seeing right now. A lot of these players are just not going to be 4.5 million. So I don't really want to speculate too much there. So we're going to go for Romeo for now. And then we've got one more midfield slot. And we've got 8.5. Boys. We are absolutely flush. 8.5 million midfielders. We have so many options. We have so many options, guys. So we've got Saka. We've got... Maybe we can get a nice cheeky Mason Mount. Maybe that's the one. Money Mace. Which leaves us with 0.5 in the bank, which I'll just leave in the bank. I'll probably... You know what? I actually like this team a lot. I like this team a lot. Brownhill would have been very nice, says Jandre. Completely agree. Morgan Gibbs-White. I wonder if he could come in at 4.5 million. Never know. Yago 2 with a super chat. Thank you so much, Yago. Got Mo, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Hal. Who's Hal? Haaland, Ronaldo. These abbreviations are really throwing me off. So Salah, Trent, Haaland, Ronaldo, Cancelo. Who calls Cancelo can of soup? Diaz. Now need 3 to 4 million guys. Wait, 3 to 4 more guys? Is it worth it? Got Alanga, Perisic, Undav 2, 10 million for goalies. Thank you, Slurp Away. It's difficult to say. Don't really like Alanga. Not straight away anyway. It's a little bit of a risk. 10 millions on goalkeepers is not something I like to do personally. I like to start the season spending exactly 8.5 million on goalkeepers. I will possibly go to 9. But never more than 9 million on goalkeepers. I don't like rotating goalkeepers. Don't like it. Causes too much headaches and never works. Definitely not worth the money, in my opinion. Definitely not worth the money. Yeah, I like this team. Basically I would say, Yago, don't spend that much money on goalkeepers. Alanga seems like a lot of money for a bench player, who he is going to be a bench player. If you got Ronaldo, Haaland and Salah, then that's okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure I like the three premiums. Get Hall instead of Romeo because he's aging. Dewsbury Hall is not going to be 4.5 million. JT says, why do you choose Laporte over Diaz? I think Laporte's got slightly more goal threat than Diaz. Morgan Gibbs-White for 4.5 million at Forest would be straight in my team. Yeah, mine too. Nigel says, can we start building our teams? No, not until probably Tuesday. Jandre, Rashford, forward or midfield? I think he's listed as a midfielder, isn't he? Mr. Lucian says, double Liverpool defence is better as concede Diaz, Jota, Nunez rotating. I agree with you. But the problem is there's so many defenders that I want that it's hard to get Robertson in. I really do want Robertson as well. The only way I change that is by going Diaz. Well, okay, let's have a look. So let's swap Tomiyasu for Robertson and just go at. Oh wait, I need to take Diaz out first. Let's just put Granit Xhaka in there for a second, and then we take out Undav, I guess, and then we've got 6 million to spend on the midfielder. I mean, it's kind of like, who am I taking at 6 million? Like, there is not a lot, and this is kind of where your problem arises, really. Like, who are you taking at 6 million? It would be a punt. It would be a huge punt, whoever you go for. Like, I don't have a solution. I don't really have a solution to a 6 million. Like this, there's lots of nicely priced players in the kind of 7 to 8.5 million mark in terms of midfielders. At 6, it's a bit desolate. It's a bit barren. So yeah, it's not that I don't like Robertson. I actually love Robertson, and I wish I could have him in my team. It's more of a structural thing that's kind of pushing me towards Diaz. Neto not at 6 million is potential. I mean, we'll find out in half an hour. We'll find out. Martinelli and Undav will not start game week 1. I don't see why they wouldn't. Well, I mean, I don't see why Martinelli wouldn't. Undav, they're absolutely crying out. Get 0.5 from somewhere and get Neto. I mean, I could do. Find 0.5 and get Rashi. Buendia. Don't know. I'm not 100% convinced. Like I say, we are in the regions of punts. And I don't really want to take too many punts in game week 1. Punts are for later on when we've kind of had a look at everyone. I'd rather go a little bit safer. There's already a little bit of risk in Martinelli and Undav. They are the 2 riskiest players in this team so far. Like, the Diaz draft looks better. Doesn't it? Like, let's be real. Out of those 2 drafts. Oh, wait, we can put the price up. Like, that's a genuinely quite nice team. And then you can just rotate Undav and Tomiyasu. Maybe we'll start with Tomiyasu game week 1. Yeah, people saying Elanga and whatever. It's like, do we really want to be spending like, I don't know. I'm not convinced by players like Elanga. It's like a lot of risky players. Like risks have a time and a place in FPL. But if you start picking like 3 or 4 or 5 players who you're not convinced are going to get points, you don't know, and you're just kind of hoping, and they're all punts, you end up stitching yourself up, really. Like, we've got players in this team, like the whole defence there, Alexander-Arnold, Perisic, Chilwell, Tomiyasu, Laporte. We know they're all going to get FPL points. Salah, we know he is. Luis Diaz, we know he is. Mason Mount, we know he is. Haaland, we kind of think he is. That just kind of leaves you with a couple of like slight risks. Martinelli, slight risk. Undav, slight risk. Don't know. Oh, actually, to be fair, I probably would take 1 punt on Undav game week 1. Like, do something like that. It's pretty nice. What about Son, Dan? It depends on his price. If he's priced very nicely, if he's priced like at 11 million or something, then I think it'd be difficult to, 11 million midfielder, for example. You know, Haaland leaves the team and Son comes in. So it will be a pretty easy decision to make there. Matthew Rigby says, I don't get why Chilwell over Reece James. I just like Chilwell a little bit more, I think. I mean, actually, to be fair, all right. Okay, let me try something. If Chelsea move to a 4-4-2 form, well, 4-4-2, 4-3-3 formation, I guess. That's going to make the Chelsea defenders a little less nice, I suppose. So, in that case, let's put Granit back in just for a second. Just for 1 second. If that is the case, does this leave us open to a Robertson draft in that respect, giving us 7.5 to spend on another midfielder? So, all right, let's swap you two. You first bench. 7.5 to spend on a midfielder is a bit nicer. I would ideally like to leave 0.5 in the bank. But even at 7.5 million, is there anything that is like amazing, must have, must buy? Zaha, maybe he comes in at 7 million. I mean, Neto could be okay. Maddison, 7.5, they reckon. I think maybe this is a Neto spot, isn't it? A Neto-shaped hole, which leaves me 1 million in the bank. Which is kind of good, I guess. Because it allows me a decent amount of flexibility. I'm really not, like, people are obsessed. I have to spend 100 million in my game week to one team. I have to spend that money. You don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Kulusevski, yeah, if he comes in at 7.5, then Kulusevski could be interesting. Definitely interesting. Like, Spurs have okay fixtures. Southampton, Chelsea away. Problem is that Chelsea and the Wolves fixtures are just not ideal. And if I end up going for Son, which is very possible, might not bother anyway. It might all, I mean, if Son is a midfielder and a good price, it really changes everything. It really does. It really, really does. Raha says, I'm afraid Haaland won't fit Pep's system. It's possible. Please work says Kulu is an option. He's definitely an option. Adrian says update Salah. I don't need to update him. He's right there. FPL Jal says if Cody is 4.5 million, would you consider him? Yeah. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Jandre says for fun, entertainment. No, wait, hang on. Let me try and read this. For fun. Entertain no Salah. This team is going to change a lot anyway. True. You guys want me to do a no Salah team? It's not going to be very good. I mean, like my no Salah team is like hardly changes anyway. It just means putting Son in. Like that would be the only difference. You save a little bit of money, but then what are you going to spend it on anyway? I guess you upgrade Neto to Diaz. It wouldn't change that much. It would just move it to that. It's not bad. It's not bad, to be fair. But I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. What about Harry Kane? It depends. Again, if Harry Kane comes in at a really, really attractive price, then fair enough. Maybe we have to start thinking about him. Maybe it gives us no choice but to think about him. Like if Kane came in at 10.5 million, I think I would have to. I mean, I would go. No, who am I kidding? At 10.5 million, I pick Kane. It's all about the prices. Someone says, do a Alisson draft. No. No. I'm not going to do an Alisson draft. Squexy Play says 4-4-2 seems boring. Of course it seems boring. It's the most typical, quintessential boring formation. But like this team is not playing. This 4-4-2 team is not playing in real life, is it? It would be interesting if I could enter my FPL team into the Premier League, but that's not really how it works. It's not boring when your defenders are not. Well, are fullbacks. When your defenders are Alexander-Arnold, Perisic, Robertson, Cancelo, Chilwell, Reece James, whoever else, there's nothing boring about that. There is nothing boring about that. 2 forwards is about as much as I go to. I actually started with 3 forwards last season, but I'm not going to do that again. I think what I will say is I will have no more than 3 forwards and no less than 4 defenders and no less than 4 midfielders. So it's basically 4-5-1, 5-4-1, or 4-4-2. And those are the only formations I'm even remotely considering. If I'm totally honest. Ollie says, who's Undav? Oh, you missed some good chat about Undav. I'm not going to go over it again because I do want this video to be watchable as a video. So, yeah, if you want to watch the stream will be uploaded as a video after. We spoke about loads of good stuff earlier on in the stream. FPL Minute says, thoughts about KDB? Not a chance. Not a chance. I just think 12 million, he's been priced out the game. He's been priced out. He usually starts quite slow as well, KDB. And I don't think he'll get as... Like, people saying, oh, I think he's going to get more points now that Haaland is in the side. I think it's going to be the opposite way. Because Haaland is going to be scoring the goals that KDB previously did. Haaland's going to be occupying the in the box spaces that KDB was. Yeah, I don't know. Mr. Lucian says Tarkovsky just signed for Everton. Yeah, that's been in the works for a little while. Ollie Horbury says, are you going to do a rate your drafts? When the game launches, yeah, we'll do, honestly, guys, when the game actually launches, which I think will be on Monday, we're going to go mad. In fact, there's going to be streams all the time. I'll probably do 2 streams a week. I'll probably do a video every single day. I'm going to go crazy. FPL content is going to become my life. I've got so many video ideas. God, I'm so excited to share some of my video ideas. Squexy Play says 4-5-1. You can have your attacking fullbacks and more mids because they outscore forwards. Well, yeah, I mean, Haaland is really the only bit of money I've spent in the forward position, and he might even change for Son depending on Son's price. Undab is just a nice little cheeky punt who will rotate with Tomiyasu depending on minutes and the like. What would Spurs' attack be after Richarlison joins? Tuesday, you mean? Sorry, yeah, I think Tuesday launches. Maybe we'll do some rate my teams from then. What would the Spurs be attack? I mean, isn't Richarlison just going to be a bench player? Maybe. I mean, he's not going to start ahead of Kane. He's not going to start ahead of Son. Is he going to start at right wing? With Kulusevski maybe playing at wing back? Right wing back, maybe? Or is Kulusevski just going to have his minutes reduced? It's a strange one. Like, in FPL terms, I don't think Richarlison really has a place. Just because, like, I mean, he's been brought in to cover injuries, really, hasn't he? He's been brought in to cover Son and Kane if they get injured, either playing off the left or playing as a central striker, whatever. It's not going to be a case of Richarlison coming in and playing every game. I do want to do a video on this, actually, though, on my second channel. Oh, good timing. That's a good reminder. Guys, quick ad break. It's not really an ad break, but, you know. Go and subscribe to my second channel where I'm uploading non-FPL content. We're talking about transfers. We're talking about how teams are going to line up. We're talking about stuff that does technically relate to FPL, but doesn't quite fit onto the FPL Mate YouTube channel. That's Dan Mate. Let's spam the channel link in the description. Go subscribe to that. There we go. And I'm going to do a Spurs video actually on that channel, probably even today. I don't know if I'll have it out today, but yeah, I want to do a video talking about how Spurs are going to line up. So that's that. But there we go, guys. That's that team. That's what I think is a pretty, well, I mean, aside from the fact that this is not my actual draft, this is the no Salah draft. But if we just switch things around, back around, back around, Neko. Something like that. Something like that. Raha says, actually, Kulu would be good at right wing back. He has good work rate and defending. Yeah, exactly. He's left footed as well, so he could play a left wing back potentially. FPL Aiden is on pre-season watch by the looks of things. Edouard assist, Mateta goal. All right. James says, Chelsea will struggle defensively this season. I'm going to do a video on Chelsea as well on the second channel. This is, I think, a good team. I quite like this draft. It's probably not going to be exactly how I line up in game week 1, but I think the bones of this is probably roughly right. I said I was going to have a look at FPL Harry's team on stream, actually. I don't know if he's still here. Probably not. But yeah, FPL Harry's another FPL content creator, and I'm going to check out his team. He's DM'd me it. So I'm just going to hide DMs because because both me and Harry are in the Illuminati. We can't share with you guys our secret chats. That's just protecting privacy and stuff like that, isn't it? Really. Let's go back. And what? No, I've done this wrong. I've done the open image in new tab. That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Thank you, Daniel. All right, let's show you what we got. Zoom in one. Right, so this is FPL Harry's team. Melier is the goalkeeper, really, I guess. It's a 3-man defence of Diaz, Trent and Chilwell, I'm guessing. So it's a... No, or is it? No, it's a 4-4-2. A typical FPL Harry 4-4-2. With Tomiyasu and Dunk rotating. They rotate quite well, don't they? Let's have a look. But I'm pretty sure they rotate quite well. So, Brighton and Arsenal. Yeah, the Brighton and Arsenal defenders rotate quite well. You go Arsenal first. Then, game week 2, you take your pick. Then, game week 3, you go Arsenal again. Maybe Arsenal is better. Then, game week 4, you go Arsenal. But then, game week 5, you can go for Brighton. Okay. Maybe they don't rotate that well. Yeah. But, you know, good backup option to have. Let's go back to this screenshot. So, yeah. So, it's Melier in goal. Then, Diaz, Trent, Chilwell playing every game with Tomiyasu and Dunk rotating. Then a pretty expensive midfield of Saka, Salah, Diaz. So, you've got 2 at 8 million midfielders in there. Neto at 6.5, which... I mean, assuming he does come in at 6. I mean, you never know. He could come in at 6. Can you imagine the scenes? Haaland. Tony, I'm kind of surprised that he's gone for... Oh, you are in the chat, Harry. I'm kind of surprised you've gone for Tony at 7. Like, would you not, like, prefer to, like, upgrade a... I don't know. Like a Dunk to... Perisic? Take down Tony to an Undav and replace Dunk with Perisic. And then, for me, to be fair, that pretty much just gives you the exact same team as me. So, yeah. The one thing which is just doesn't work about reviewing teams, like, it is good fun. Don't get me wrong. But one thing about reviewing other people's teams is all you end up doing is trying to turn other people's teams into your own team, which is just no fun whatsoever. So, say Harry's team was identical to my team, but had one player different. All I'd be saying is, I really like this team. Other than I would change that one player that's different to mine to a player that's the same as mine. Oh dear. FPL Harry says, issue is if you play a 1 forward formation, you are stuck with 2 4.5 forwards who don't play. And I absolutely completely agree with you, which is why I've tried to do a 4-4-2 today with Undav rotated with Tomiyasu. So I do get what you mean. I definitely do get what you mean. Or maybe Martinelli rotates a little bit here as well. Felix says Tony without Eriksen seems risky, and I completely agree with you there. Like, we saw the difference of Tony first half of the season where he couldn't get involved with goals. He had to drop deep and create because there was no major creative force there. And then Eriksen comes in and suddenly Tony could actually be a striker again. It's difficult. Nikolaus says, oh man, I need to sneeze. Hay fever. I haven't taken my hay fever tablets again today. For God's sake. Nikolaus says, not FPL related, but where are you from? Now, if you mean in a literal sense... Oh, my eyes are going. If you mean in a literal sense, I'm from England. From the Cambridge area, I suppose. Currently living in Bedfordshire. Not that anyone's heard of Bedfordshire. But it's an area in England. I'm about like an hour north of London, basically. And if you're talking about my ethnic makeup, we are 3/4 white English and 1/4 some of this bad boy. We're mostly this with a little bit of this sprinkled in. It's Nigeria, by the way. And there's a little bit of family history, which is why I'm a weird, like, particularly on camera, like I'm a weird, like, orange shade. Yeah, that's it basically. Okay, let's have a look at some of the chats. So, Richard Ward says, Haaland is not your typical Bundesliga player. He's a generational talent that will be nailed on the best team as their number 9 and likely on pens. I mean, yeah, he's going to be on pens just because City don't have a penalty taker and Haaland is more than capable of taking pens. So, yeah, I do kind of agree with that, to be honest. He's just a really good player. Alan says, what do you think about this? I think he should get more of Mbumo minutes. Maybe. What did he come in? 5.5? I don't know. Shamoy says, Lewis Graben. No, I don't think so. I don't think Graben is going to be able to translate his numbers into the Premier League, to be honest. Cancelo, yeah, Cancelo is fine. I'm a little bit worried that if a new left-back signs for Man City, that Cancelo is not going to be as good as an FPL option. So I'm happy to go without Cancelo, to be honest. If Man City sign a new left-back to start every game, or to start a lot of games, it's going to affect Cancelo's minutes, it's going to affect Cancelo's positioning on the pitch. He won't have that ability to cut inside and shoot. I don't know. So, yeah, Cancelo is very much a wait and see, and it's going to be like a situation where we have to see, I guess, what happens. Adahor says, you are Nigerian, holy mother of God, my brother. I don't know if I call myself Nigerian, but certainly, we certainly have a bit of that. We have a bit of that going on. Magic69 says, I get a lot of emails from your countrymen. They seem like nice people always wanting to give me something. I mean, I know where you're going with this. I'm not entertaining it. We've got 15 minutes until Wolves. Dungeon Master says, put Son in your team. I might put Son in my team. If I do, it depends how much he is. How much is he going to be? 11.5 they've got him at here. It's a lot of Wonga. If he's 11 million, I'd probably go for him. 11 million midfielder, I would probably go for him over Haaland. If I can save money by going for Son, then I'll do it. Everyone's forgetting Bowen. I don't know if everyone's forgetting Bowen. It's just that the West Ham play Man City game week 1. And is he actually a better option than like Mason Mount and Luis Diaz at the same price? I don't know. A few people asking what the website is. I'm not going to say it too often. I might get in trouble for promoting things without permission. Actually, I can promote what I want. Actually, can I? Yeah, I think I can. FPL.team is the website. FPL.team. Ronaldo at 10.5, Sancho at 7.5 might be a steal. Let's see. Yeah, it could be. Yup Sup says, would you consider Gabriel Jesus at 8.5 to 9 million? Probably not. I mean, definitely not, let's be real. Surely Son will be like 12 million shared golden boot. Yeah, probably. And it's going to be difficult to fit him in at that kind of price. If Havertz is a forward, is he an option? Not really so much if he's a forward. If he's because you know what FPL do. If they move a player to a forward and add 1 million to their price tag, so they score less points and cost more. Make it make sense. Marius says nobody's talking about Mahrez. I spoke a lot about Mahrez yesterday, to be fair. And if I was to go without Haaland, I probably would put Mahrez in to just get some like City attack in there somehow. Make a draft with Son, Salah and Haaland. No, definitely not. You can make that you can make that draft if you want, but I'm not gonna touch Threemium. FPL Raptor says, Dan, stop promoting stuff for free, FFS. Unless it's my YouTube channel, then you can go for it. All right, let's promote a YouTube channel. Let's give a shout out to a small football YouTuber who I know is around right now, enjoying the stream. And it's me. I'm enjoying the stream. Subscribe to Dan Mate on YouTube.com. Best football channel on YouTube. I mean, I've got 3 videos on there, but it will be. Watch this space, especially now I've got the new camera. Things are going to be a lot better. A lot better. You guys are going to be impressed. We got things to come. Thoughts on Brennan Johnson and Mitrovic? Bit of a risk, but they are reasonably cheap and perform decently. I think it's worth the risk to get one of them in. The problem is with them guys is the fixtures are so bad. Like, I wish they were better. Fulham, Liverpool, Wolves, Brentford, Arsenal, Brighton. I mean, it couldn't be much. Yeah. It couldn't get much worse than that, really. Forest, Newcastle away, which is a tough game. West Ham, Everton, Spurs, Man City. I really just feel like with players like Mitrovic, Brennan Johnson, if they had good fixtures, we would probably be punting on them. But because they don't, it's going to be more of a situation where we wait and see. We see how they perform in the opening games in those more difficult fixtures. And then when things, brighten up for them fixture-wise, that'll be about the same time as we are wild carding. So we'll have our wild cards, we would have had a good look at these players, they will have their fixture swings, everything will line up quite nicely, and at that point I think it's the time to start going for some Mitrovic's, some Brennan Johnsons, and maybe some other newly promoted players as well, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. Magic69 says Son instead of Haaland if Son is listed as a forward. Yeah, maybe. Kyle says, haha, I really thought you would promote another YouTuber. You know what? I promote other YouTubers all the time. I say all the time. I know, I do. I do a decent amount of promotions. I did the summer camp videos. The whole idea was to promote other YouTubers. I'm more than happy to give a big shout out to another FPL YouTuber. Kirillos says, is YouTube your full-time job? Yes, it is. Very fortunately for me. Very fortunately for me. That's why I need you guys to like and subscribe. So I can feed my kids. I don't have kids. I have a cat. So I can feed my cat. Sounds like a euphemism. Hey mate, how about Dean Henderson? Just signed for Forest. If he comes in at 4.5 million, then I guess he's an option. But really, are we going to go for a Nottingham Forest goalkeeper in this opening run of fixtures? He's one of those players, again, where first wildcard, maybe you start to consider him at that point. Nunez, I don't think so. If you want a cheap striker, could Hwang be an option? Oh. Nope. Let's keep going through the chat here. Osborne plays FPL, says Brennan Johnson is going to be one everyone will get in their teams at some point. He's so underrated. No, he's a good player. It's just bad fixtures. It's a punt and bad fixtures. It's not just, game week 1 is probably just not the time for it. Thoughts on Vardy? Avoid. Who do you think will be the best 7.5 and below mids? Neto? It's difficult. Every midfielder below 7.5 million is a punt. It's a really difficult price point. So it's difficult to say who's going to be the best ones. Ardy says, Undav up to Mitro could be a player around game week 7 or 8 or so, to be fair. Yeah, exactly. David Thomas says, Lingard, if he goes to West Ham. I mean, he was a bit iconic, wasn't he? If he comes in at a good price, then he's definitely a consideration. Mateta will outscore Haaland easily next season. Transfer him out and make a decent draft finally. Well, if you want to do that, go for it, mate. Ash says, Nunez over Salah this year, in my opinion. God, you really... Oh. Mo Salah is so good, and he wants to win Ballon d'Or. He's going to have another killer season. Matthew says 10 minutes left. Yes, 8 minutes now. Kieran says if Wolves had... Oh, I've lost it. He says if Wolves had a mint striker, admit it, we'd be all over him. Yeah, we would. Any price on Spurs players? No. Promote Ben Foster for the Cycling GK. I don't think he needs my promotion. I need his promotion. Osborne says, hi mate, how do you make? How do you make what? How do you make an excellent glass of blackcurrant squash? Little slurp for the boys. Or how do you make your FPL team? Or are you really asking how much money do you make? Which is a question you shouldn't really ask people. What price do you think Vardy will be? 8 million? Maybe he'd have to be like 8 million before we're considering him. But again, FPL, see a player as a forward and add an extra million on there. So even if Vardy is like an 8 million player, kind of similar to Maddison, they will add a million to him just for the fact that he's a forward. Ridiculous. Thoughts on Jesus' impact on Saka and Martinelli goal threat? I don't think it. I think it makes it better. I think Jesus. I don't think he's like an out-and-out goal-scoring number 9. I think he's a very creative and technical player. That he's actually going to create a lot of more space and opportunities for Saka and Martinelli. So I think he's going to improve them. You know, I think it's going to be a good thing. So we'll see. Thoughts on Spence? Yeah, a good player. Probably going to sign for Spurs, to be fair, and maybe be a bit of a rotation risk over there. Can you have 2 times 8 million midfielders with Salah? It's difficult. Coutinho, no. Let's go. 8 minutes until what? The next reveal. What should be the Wolves team reveal. Which we're gonna. Oh my god! I'm gonna sneeze again. 3 sneezes in one stream. That's too many. Is it time to log off? Like Timo Werner, exactly. Like Timo Werner. Like Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount. You would have said at the beginning of the season, of last season maybe, similar, will score a similar amount of points. I know that didn't happen in the end. Maybe the midfielders will score a bit more because they get extra points for goals and stuff. But for some reason, because Werner is a forward, they add 1 million to his price, which is we've just got to a point at this stage where we just have to accept forwards are not worth the money. They're just not worth it. So we're going to see a similar situation again. It's not worth it. Ronaldo being so cheap after the season he had gives me hope for Vardy. I wouldn't have too much hope if I'm honest. Why is it Wolves? Shall I explain? Yeah, we've got 5 minutes. Let me give an explanation on how the order of the teams being revealed. Let's have a look here. Table 1, 22. Oh no. Let me show you. So, with the exception of Arsenal and Man City, who swapped places, the order of price reveals has been Man City, nothing. Arsenal, nothing. Brighton, nothing. Brentford, nothing. Leeds. Seeing a pattern here. Today, Liverpool, nothing. Manchester United, nothing. Wolves. The only deviation from this rule was Arsenal and Man City swap places. So, by that logic, Wolves at 2 p.m. UK time. Then nothing. Aston Villa at 4 p.m. Nothing. Then Burnley, because they're not in the Premier League, I'm assuming that's going to swap with first in the Championship, which will be Fulham. Which will mean Fulham will be the 6 p.m. price reveals today. Then, going on to... I hope you're kind of following this pattern here. So then, we go day 3. We start at 3. Chelsea, first, 10 a.m.? Nothing. West Ham at midday. Nothing. Newcastle at 2. Nothing. Southampton at 4. Nothing. Then, we get to Watford. Swap them with the second place team from last season, which was Bournemouth. So Bournemouth go in there. Bournemouth will be the 6 p.m. Price reveal for that day. And then on the final day, which takes us to Monday, Spurs should be first at 10 a.m. Crystal Palace at 2. Nothing. Everton at 4. Nothing. And that should end us up on Nottingham Forest as the final price reveal at 6 p.m. on Monday. And then all players will be revealed by that point, according to the structure that we've been doing so far. And which kind of leads us on nicely to Tuesday morning. They'll just reveal a boatload of different price reveals, I guess, in the morning, and then launch around lunchtime. So there we go. That's how. Did I forget Leicester? I'm sure I said Leicester. Leicester are a Monday team, right? Tottenham, nothing. Leicester, yeah. Leicester at midday on Monday. according to the current pattern. Did I actually forget Leicester? Apologies. Fran McAfee says, is De Bruyne essential? Also, you are a complete wet wipe, lol. I mean, you asked me an FPL related question, presumably because you want my advice on FPL, and you follow it up immediately by calling me a wet wipe, like I'm gonna help you out there. So yeah, okay, strange. Magic69 says, that's like my forwards returns goal, nothing assists, nothing. Fair enough. Spanner says, so when FPL start? Tuesday lunchtime? Yeah, I think Tuesday lunchtime UK time. So let's have a look at because we've got just one more minute until the next price reveal, which should be Wolves, unless they start mixing it up now because everyone's caught on to how they're doing it. World time zone map. So if it's around midday here, so don't know, if you guys are in India, it would be don't know, 4 p.m, something like that. If you're in the US, be early morning, 8 a.m. Well, maybe 7 a.m, maybe 6 a.m, something like that. Is Tuesday lunch certain or a prediction? It's a prediction, but I think it's a pretty good prediction. I'm not 100%, don't get me wrong, but I'm reasonably confident. Osborne says, please read my question. Scroll up a little bit. It will mean so much. All right, let's have a look. Let's find your question, Osborne. Please, could you say Charlie is the GOAT, mate? Charlie, I know what you're trying. You want me to say Charlie is the GOAT. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say Charlie is the GOAT, mate. He's not the GOAT. He's the GOAT, mate. There you go. Are you Charlie? Are you Charlie? Let's see. Have we got a price reveal, or are they slacking again? Are they slacking? They're slacking, guys. Unless it's on the Wolves page. Nope. All right. Victor says, I think you should consider getting stream mods. Yeah, I arguably should. I mean, we have actually got quite a lot of mods, but obviously I stream quite a lot and they're not always around. Particularly at the moment, I'm streaming at quite random times. So yeah, we'll probably add a couple of new moderators for the new season, I reckon. THJD said, would you rather support Tottenham or give up FPL? I mean, I just have to change and start supporting Tottenham. I guess I would just support Tottenham. I don't really have a massive problem. It's here. Oh, we're here. All right. Raptor says, mod me up. Do you really want that? Ross, do you really want that kind of responsibility? Can I trust you with that kind of responsibility? It's on Wolves. Okay. Yeah, Ross, I'll make you mod in a minute, mate. Okay. No. I'm gonna do a play by play. We're going play by play. We're not gonna do it. I don't want to see them all. Jimenez, 7 million. That's not the worst. That's not the worst. Jimenez at 7 million. I don't mind that. Probably not gonna buy him though. Jose Sa, 5 million. About what we expected, to be honest. Johnny, 4.5. I like. Johnny, yes, papa. Eating sugar, no papa. Open my mouth for that one. Who else we got? Neto, 5.5 million. Oh my words. FPL have actually screwed it up. They've messed up. FPL Towers have messed up and given us an absolute beauty of a price. They've messed up. Jack Savage says, told you about the Semedo and Jimenez. Yeah, I mean, it was a good prediction. If I had to guess, I'd probably say the same thing. 5.5 million. Oh my word. Oh my word. They've messed up. They messed up. Like they dropped the ball big time. Like this is what happens every single year. FPL messes up the prices of like a couple of players that creates these just insane bargains. Neto is one of them. Undav is another one of them so far. You could argue that they've messed up the price of Trent. They've messed up the prices of Robertson. And it just gives us some beautiful, beautiful options. And Neto is an interesting one because a lot of people will not be thinking about Neto. But us FPL nerdlingers, we know for a start, Wolves' fixtures are phenomenal. Leeds, Fulham, Spurs, Newcastle, Bournemouth. It's a madness, an absolute madness. We also know that Neto, he may have not had the best season last season just because he was injured, but what a player he is. Still very young. Still so young, man. Still so young. Honestly, this guy is in like such a good football player when he's playing. So let's show you. Last season was not good. And this is where people are going to focus on. They're going to say, oh, 13 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. I ain't getting Neto. That's bad. That is terrible. Season before. 31 games, 5 goals, 6 assists. Not bad. Not bad at all. Previous season, not so good. But that season, what a boy. 5 goals, 6 assists. Looking phenomenal. Hopefully, he's going to be just improve and improve and improve. 5.5 million is such a cheap price. And look at the fixtures, man. Look at the fixtures. Crazy. All right, so let's go play by play and have a look at these players and say, are we saying hip hip hooray or no way? That's not cringy at all, Dan. It adds a bit of spice to our lives, I suppose. I've been streaming for over 2 hours. I'm running out of ideas to keep this interesting, to be honest. Jimenez at 7 million. Hip hip away. Hip hip away. Hip hip away the boys. I'd say a no way on Jimenez. So, I mean, kind of meh. Kind of, yeah, to be expected. Johnny. Hip hip hooray. Aït-Nouri, hip hip hooray. Kilman, no way. Cody, 5 million. Why are you going to go Cody when you can get Aït-Nouri or Johnny yes papa for 4.5? It's a no way from me, my friend. As is Semedo, no way. Nato, hip hip hooray. Neves, no way. Podence, is probably not. Hwang is a midfielder, well spotted. 6 million though. Who's picking Hwang at 6 million when you have Neto at 5.5? Like, on a real. Al Barona says that Jimenez is a no way with Tony at the same price. Yeah. That's a good point. It's a good point. Rashford price? Rashford is 6.5 million. Yeah. I mean, if you're just learning that for the first time, you probably won't believe me. But yeah, Rashford is 6.5 million. Podence is better than Neto? Blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy. Right, I think we've got a new Twitter hype train. We've got a new Twitter group think, and that is going to be Neto. Like, he could fall completely flat, but like this season, like that 2021 season, like he was like absolutely on it until his injury, obviously. What a player. What an absolute don. An absolute Donny. Absolute Donny. Alright guys, we've got those prices now, so I think we'll call it a day for another day. We'll go again tomorrow. I think what I'll just do is obviously I've done it today already. Tomorrow again, I'll start streaming at midday again, UK time. And then do the same thing on Monday. We'll just stream every day, 12 till 2-ish. Go out, probably start a little bit earlier to do the live reaction to the prices. Probably run over a little bit as we react to the last price reveals. But yeah, guys, do join me over on Twitter, where we're going to probably be reacting live to some of the other price reveals that are coming this afternoon. We're expecting Aston Villa in 2 hours, and then in 4 hours we should, in theory, get Fulham. But we'll see. We'll see. So we'll talk about that over on Twitter, and then we'll talk about that a little bit on tomorrow's stream. But guys, before you disappear, if you wouldn't mind liking the stream, it really does help the channel out a lot. So I would really, really appreciate that. And if you haven't done already, please do subscribe to make sure, and turn notifications on as well. So you make sure you get that notification for the streams that I'm doing over the next couple of days. And we'll just talk about some more price reveals. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.